Thank you for joining our studio this morning. We are talking about Benue once again, talking about P2B and talking about our dear President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Obi said something. You know, let me just quote this before we begin to get at it. Schools were shut down. Children who should be mourning their slaughtered classmates. Children who should be mourning their slaughtered classmates. And parents were instead lined up under the rain, rehearsed to sing and dance for the president. In what kind of country does this happen? You know, we've been blaming the president for not moving around. I remember sometime last week or thereabout, P2B threw out a challenge. In spite of this Benue state, why not take a visit to the 36 states rather than touring France, touring foreign countries and all that? And maybe Asiwaju in a way has started it, but he needed to go visit Benue because of the deadly event that happened. I don't call it clash because when you go and invade somebody and kill somebody, people sleeping, what we heard from the army chief was that even the people housed these people. You know, they welcomed them not knowing their intentions and all that. But that aside, the president took the stand to visit Benue. Obi is saying that instead of going to mourn with the people, or at least allow them mourn in peace, they converted the event to a fun fair. You know, is it that Asiwaju didn't do what is right, or Obi is criticizing him too much? Philip, let me hear from you.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you are starting with me because it's a burning issue in my heart. Because we have said it here before that in other climes, when tragedy happens, I will keep on repeating the event that happened in India before the Benue incident, that the leader, the president, the prime minister, whoever it is, instantly he will go and grieve with the people and mourn with them. But what happened in the case of Nigeria? The president, after the Pope had offered a condolence prayer for Nigeria and pray on behalf of Nigeria for peace, the president said he will have to clear his table, then give a date as if it's a normal thing before we go visiting. As if that were not enough, the Benue state government had to send out invitation, organize for people to dress in their colorful attire to welcome the president. Red carpet were rolled out. The Benue state economy was shut down for a whole day. As my brother and friend said part of Abuja was shut down for the period with which the president left the villa to the airport. That there were no economic transactions within the route the president was taking in Abuja, the capital city. This is a tragic incident in the first place. It's an incident that called for sober reflection, for mourning. But what happened in Benue State? They didn't even tell us the president was going there to mourn, that he's going to have a town hall meeting with the Benue people in government house, not the scene of the incident. So Obi only re-echo what has been playing out in everyone's mind in this country. What kind of country is this that people died? You turn it to a form fair.
Okay, let me come to you, Kingsley. Philip, I'll get back to you once again. Obi said that the president missed the opportunity of seeing the Enugu-Makurdi highway, which is a death trap and in a deplorable condition. He didn't go through there. He didn't go there. You know, already in Makurdi, he should have just gone there. But he went to a place where everything is shining, and he dressed in regalia. You know, usual abada, you know, there is nothing to show he has come to mourn. Do you think it's more of the president or more of the receiving governor, who before then declared public holiday, had sent out a circular, which you have a copy, telling different support groups on how to line up and welcome the president? You know, something that the president should have just had that this thing happened, and probably with, of course, security protocol, and move like Philippa said. Do you think it's more of the governor also trying to play politics, trying to be in the good books of the president by trying to present things that, oh, you have come to our state, we need to welcome you very well, we don't know when it's going to happen again, and denying the attention that should be on the people, now shifting towards something that looks like political makeup?
I think he's on both.
Okay.
I think he's on both. Both the president.
Then, do you also think Obi, like I asked him, Obi criticizes too much?
No,
so to have it on threefold.
No. I don't think Obi criticizes too much. They said evil is perpetrated in society when good men fold their hands and do nothing.
Who are the good men?
People like Obi. You see, you may say that we are not in government. That's why we are criticizing. But if we are in government, we'll criticize. And I've learned from you that criticism is just tools to put in your bag.
It doesn't mean you hate someone.
Doesn't mean you hate someone. And if somebody points something out that we criticize ourselves.
Even our dear president is one of the biggest critics.
Exactly.
When he wasn't president.
When he was in president.
Even when he was a governor, he was criticized by Obasanjo.
The president right now criticized so much. He formed LCAs, LDAs, Local Development Authority in Lagos State. Other state, I don't know any other state that has it. Even when the then president said you should not have it.
Okay, let's.
No, let me finish what you asked me.
Okay.
Now, when the president was going, can the president not go unannounced? When Modi was going to the scene of the plane crash, did he call the service chief, security advisor, convoy? No, just went. I mean, we've seen hurricanes in America.
Yeah.
They don't call the governor, call this one. Just pick helicopter, drop there, tell CIA, tell FIB or whatever they are, and he goes there and he assess with one small shirt and all that.
Rolled up.
What was the town meeting?
I remember
for?
the one Obama went. It was just
exactly. Some even t-shirts.
They are not tie, not
nothing. What was the town meeting for? The town meeting, is it to assess? The president didn't even go to the scene of the incident. He didn't go. Do you understand? How can someone... You see, it's on both sides.
Yeah,
they politicize everything.
Wouldn't it be better if if the president had left them alone?
Do you understand? Let them grieve.
To mourn in peace.
Let them grieve.
Line up children who lost their class.
Did you hear the MC was saying, don't go, there's food prepared, don't go, food is available, sit down, let's eat. Eating at that time, that contract was given to somebody to cook. So in the midst of sorrow and hardship, people were still making money. Yeah, an agony. Look, let me tell you something.
On the side of the governor,
yes,
what could he have done differently?
What would he have done differently? In fact, I should even look more on the side of the president. It's not a presidential visit. It's an assessment of terrorists in his sovereign nation. So it's not about Alia, it's about the president himself. Call the service chief and tell the governor we are coming. It shouldn't be the body should not be on the governor.
A circular asking people, telling them how to
because that's what they all do. Politics, that's what they all do.
If I may come in.
Yeah, sure.
You said the governor sent out a circular. He sent out a circular because the president had scheduled it as if it's an official visit. I am coming to your state on Wednesday. What do you expect of the governor? To make preparations. But this case does not call for such official announcement. It's supposed to be unofficial because this is a tragedy. People are grieving. People are in agony. You were supposed to be seen, feeling the people's pains because you have failed in your duties to protect their lives and properties. And you have not shown any sign to say that you feel their pains.
Yeah, let's get some assessments that the president really has asked the IG to arrest, because this one will have to track it. We see them maybe all this robber, displaying what's it called, parading accused people is beginning to not be acceptable anymore because somebody is innocent until proven guilty. It's like you're making a scandalous statement by parading somebody that you have not tried in court. But in this case, are we going to have a record that people are arrested? Because Nigerians are going to track this one. President has told them, get them arrested. Not go and line up everywhere with army and, get the perpetrators arrested.
Okafor, the IG should have been fired. The IG should have lost his job that day. The commissioner of police in that state should have lost his job that day.
The director of SSS
have
lost his job.
Should have lost his job that day.
All head of security.
That there was a group of people marauders on a bike, they didn't come on foot, came in from Nasarawa as we heard, and nobody could trace. They came and left, nobody traced. I mean, there was a police they engaged in. So information could have been sent to headquarters through radio or phone or whatever from the DPO of that station, because I heard there was a negotiation before they started striking. And hours passed by. There was no helicopter. The command and control of the Nigerian Air Force is in Benue State.
But if there's going to be any kind of protest, I also learned that people who were protesting, that was before the president visit.
Yes.
People who were protesting against this incident were tear gassed.
Not only were they tear gassed, the helicopter was flying in the skies on that day. The helicopter that couldn't trace. Now, what we are saying, the president is asking the IG.
Okay, now let me come to you. Let me
just finish it. He said, asking the IG. He said, you mean not one person is arrested? That's the incompetence of the IG. What's that?
Not one person. That's not, because when you now...
Not one person.
You know why I'm coming here? I also want to let you know that the president felt it in a way, even though we think in error, they converted all these things to funfair, which shouldn't be. The president also felt it in a way. Are you sure? I mean, not one person.
Is he an advice?
No, not an advice. Not one person is arrested. It means that the president understands that there should be an arrest. Now, we are going to think of what is it that is happening in Nigeria. Philip, help me make sense of this generally in a very short time. That the instrument of state is even unleashed more on innocent people who are probably not perfect. Maybe somebody that big traffic lights. Maybe, do you understand? Somebody rushing to hospital, you know, or what? Just little how do I call it in legal terms? These are they don't rise to crime. They don't rise minor.
They don't threaten anybody's life.
Yeah, they don't really threaten people's life. How come instruments of state? It's not being focused on this. The real crime, if you even go into financial crime, the real looting, the real things, we are not there. But people whose brother sent money to, they went to bury the change to buy $5,000 all over the place, explaining why they went to bury the change or why they patronize bury the change for little things. People who spray money and party are going to EFCC to say why they sprayed money. Meanwhile, we have billions of naira in the for example, we had that 210 trillion is missing in NNPC. Almost in all spheres, instruments of state is being targeted on the innocent people, on the people who are even lawful.
You see, the extent of misplaced priority in this country is unimaginable. That is why Obi had said that the president visit, there was supposed to be a morning visit, a sober reflection visit, was turned to funfair and celebratory visit. When you talk about the instrument of state being unleashed on innocent citizens, not too long ago, a young man was shot dead because of traffic offense in Ibadan.
Yes,
because they
somebody was killed in Ibadan.
Exactly.
And traffic offense
who was going for his exam?
It's a traffic offense.
And the father was rushing to meet up.
And it wasn't the boy that was killed. Wasn't even the father that was trying to beat the traffic.
Exactly.
Those law enforcement officers could just collect the number and not go after.
So that tells you the level of misplaced priority we have in this government. You know, like it was said that you said.
This is I see road safety use their vehicle to double cross people who are on the highway.
Yes.
And you call yourself a road safety officer. We should remove safety.
And you said, you see EFCC, we have 210 trillion that cannot be accounted for.
And our problem are those spraying money.
NNPC, but it's people who went to party as it's African culture. That is no evil to the personnel.
The time is against us.
Okay, but let me say one thing.
Yeah.
The finance of terrorism is money being moved from one location to the other.
Yes.
Have we ever?
Let me
Exactly.
Can I put you this because you mentioned EFCC? The reason why money laundering was brought, Terrorism Prohibition Act, issues of this money laundering here flying all around in the EFCC. If you transfer money to me, it's money laundering. It's because they want to prevent terrorism. You want to prevent money from narcotics. You want to prevent money from illegal activities. Not that you moved you money you made legitimately, you transfer it to me, becomes money laundering. No, it is not. But let's leave that for another day.
We will talk about
that one when the time comes.
Go ahead.
This is still this inside. We'll be right back very shortly.